All right, today is an exciting day. As you can probably tell by all the boxes sitting behind me, we are doing a full 12 volt install into this four-wheel drive. For this installation, all the items that we're using have been supplied by the legends at Hardkorr. And I'm gonna go through in a little bit of detail why I really rate their products and these items for this installation. But first I wanna have a chat about why these items are gonna make a huge improvement on my current setup. So my current 12 volt setup, why am I replacing it? The simplest answer is my needs have changed over time. The current setup has been working fine, but my requirements out of the system have increased and this system can no longer deliver, which means I need to install a new one. The 12 volt system that I have in there came with the Patrol and it's fine if it works, but if I have any issues with it and need to diagnose things, I'm not completely familiar with it. The 12 volt setup that I've currently got in there is an older system and it comes with a couple of limitations. The main things being, it has a smaller basic battery monitor, very simple. It's only a 25 amp DCDC charger. The solar MPPT and DCDC chargers are also completely separate units and from different brands. Again, fine if it works. If issues start to arise, it makes things tricky. With the current setup I've got, there's no shunt included, which allows for battery monitoring over your phone. There's also no inverter setup, which is something that I've started to want in my setup. The biggest thing that needs to change about my setup, the current 12 volt DC-DC charger that I have cannot charge lithium batteries. This is where all the Hardkorr stuff comes into play. All of this setup is a plug and play system, all from the same brand, which is fantastic. We're kicking off with a 40 amp DC-DC charger, which also includes a MPPT solar regulator. So what I'm currently running is two separate units, two different brands. This is all in one, and it's a 40 amp instead of a 25 amp. So huge improvement there. Plug and play. We've got a 40 amp DC-DC charger wiring kit. Gives me everything I need to install this. Got a battery monitor with a 500 amp shunt included, everything there. Battery monitor looks beautiful there. Got to find a nice cool little place to put that in there. Got an inverter cable kit, which of course is going to allow me to install a 1000 watt inverter. It's only a small size inverter, but for someone that's not using 240 volt appliances for anything on trips currently, but wants to, it's going to be a good little start. I'm excited to try that out. The biggest advantage of this huge setup is that this battery charger is lithium compatible, which brings me to Hardkorr's new showpiece, their new 100 amp hour Black Series lithium battery. Why am I excited to replace my current setup with this and why is it better? Well, the Black Series is already more compact and lighter weight than other lithium batteries on the market, including the other ones that Hardkorr sell. But I'm coming from an AGM battery. So for comparison, I've got a 150 amp hour AGM battery, which is nearly a boat anchor. That thing is 29 kilos compared to this thing being 10.5 kilos. So a third of the weight. That's a huge saving. Space-wise, it's also a reduction in this battery. So huge improvements on both fronts there. I'm very excited about reducing those. I'm not gonna get too technical into the advantages of a lithium battery over an AGM battery, but you're gonna get a lot more life out of a lithium battery, a lot more charges, and it's gonna run everything you have for a lot longer. It's also worth mentioning that I have been running a Hardkorr solar panel for the last couple of years as well. So that'll be staying with the new setup. This thing has been fantastic, no complaints. With the current battery I've got in there, anytime the sun is out, that thing is fully charged, been fantastic. So happy to run it again. All right, with all that stuff explained, I'm gonna get stuck into installing this stuff. So let's go. The very first major component that I want to get installed with this setup is the new DC-DC charger. In the space that I'm putting it in, this needs to fit in around the battery, but I have a pretty good idea on where the battery is going to be sitting. So I'll be getting this in first and making sure it's in a spot that I'm very happy with. Before I do that though, I need to think about the wiring setup for this. And Hardkorr provides a really good solution for that as well. In this kit, they give everything that you need to connect the DC-DC charger to your starter or cranking battery. In here, it's got a positive and negative 6 AWG lead that goes all the way through to your battery. So negative and positive connects up there. Also has a 60 amp fuse that runs off that. And it's also got a lead in case you run a smart alternator, which is a bit more suitable for newer cars. It's not going to apply to the Patrol, but it's good to know it's there. On the other end, you've got an Anderson plug that's going to connect straight into your DC-DC charger. So it's all plug and play as far as this setup. Something to mention, I was talking about my current setup before, which I'll have to take out during this install. But for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to be showing the install as if you're doing a completely new install without any existing setup in there. Whether you're replacing an old setup or installing an entirely new setup with nothing existing, you're probably gonna have to think about how you're gonna route your wiring throughout your vehicle. Probably you might have to take out some seats, lift up some interior carpeting to neatly finish it. It's totally up to you how neat you want to make it. In my case, my previous setup was ran underneath the PVC flooring and through the tunnel and then through the engine bay firewall all the way through to the starter battery. So I'm going to follow that same route, which means I have to remove some interior bits. As you can see, I've already started to do some of that here by removing the seats. I can lift up the panels and I'm going to route that through. First step, unraveling the wiring kit, getting it ready to run from the battery and through the car. This is an optional step for me, but this blue wire for a smart alternator is never going to be used on this Patrol, so I'm actually just going to strip this out of this setup just to make it easy to feed through and also to save a little bit of weight. But you can absolutely just run this through and just not connect it to anything. But just going to slice this fella open and peel him out. Didn't really want to have to do this, but this will be a bit better to make this work the way I want it to. So he'll come out in a sec. And I'll just reuse this sheath and just tape him up. Quick tip from my last video, when you're running wires through the firewall, it's way easier if you tie it onto something that's already fed through or easy to push through first. Then use that to pull through your thicker cable. In my case, I'm lucky, I'm replacing my old setup, so I just use the existing wiring to pull the new stuff through. With another connection on the starter battery, I figured it was a good time to add a Unilug 2 up on the negative side. I've been using one on the positive for ages, which keeps everything neat and sorted. This is just a healthy reminder that when you're doing this kind of install, especially if it's on an older vehicle like mine has, probably had a couple of previous owners, it's not a bad time to actually go through some of the wiring that's coming off your starter crank battery and seeing where it goes, because some of it may not be ending up anywhere. In this case, I actually had what was previously wired all the way up to an Anderson plug coming into the back of the Patrol. I think one of the previous owners did a lot of caravanning and such, but it's since been snipped off. So this wiring was coming all the way from the battery, all the way underneath the vehicle, all the way to the back and connected to absolutely nothing. Had a isolator attached on that. All this ended up being about 1 kilo, which is not a lot in the grand scheme of things with 4-wheel drives, but if it's not doing anything, it might as well not be in there. I've now got all the cabling from the DCDC wiring kit heading up to my battery box here. So the next thing to do is to actually get my old setup out. I'm not going to show any of that, but I will show you getting this battery out just to get you an idea of the size difference and also the weight difference for what's almost the same amperage battery in a lithium. Compared with, that's how light it is. And that'll go straight in there, nice and neat. I've been thinking this through, and here's the plan for mounting the DCDC charger. Got to fit it inside this battery box, and I've got a neat little bit of space for the lithium battery up to the left here. I've been mounted upright with a couple of little screws. I'm going to drill into there. This is where my drawers close up, but I've measured there's a little bit of gap between the back there. I'll probably even nip off the end of these screws as they go in and just have that nice and neat, and then that will have enough length for all the wiring that's provided to feed on through to their appropriate spots, like the actual battery, the solar, and then the power source that I fed through earlier. I've just marked that out using the actual charger, but Hardkorr actually includes a mounting diagram inside the instructions for the DCDC charger, which is awesome. So I'm going to take that page out and just make sure that I'm 100% spot on there with my measurements. Comment below the most annoying thing you've ever had to do on a vehicle. I've picked this spot. I reckon it's going to be the best spot for the charger once it's in, but a drill to tap the holes for these screws will not fit. It's too long to fit in there, so I'm hand tapping these with a self-tapping thread. Real fun. Great on the hands. It's 100% to do with my drawer setup and also me where I've decided to put this. That's fun, yeah. Even though I removed the blue smart alternator wire, which is no use for the TD42, I'm still using the 3-pin Anderson plug. Instead of leaving that wire from the DC-DC charger hanging loose, I've clipped it back into the plug. It's not connected to anything, just keeps it tidy and stops it touching anything it shouldn't. The DC-DC charger's in there, and I've routed the Anderson plug to come out from the bottom of the battery box out, and it actually comes out pretty much exactly where the wiring from the starter battery has come out, but I've got about that much extra length than I need. Fortunately, the guys at Hardkorr actually give you a couple of extra terminals, and I've got a decent crimper there to do that size. So I'm going to cut these down to size so I don't have all this extra weight in there, and it's a nice neat install. Now that the DCDC battery charger's in place, I've gone ahead and added a fresh Anderson plug to my existing solar setup so that it can be easily connected and disconnected from that setup. What I want to start thinking about from there is how I'm going to connect everything up to the Hardkorr battery. There's a little bit that I need to connect there, but something I really need to think about as I'm doing that is how I'm wiring in the battery monitor and the shunt. So these two together allow you to monitor your battery usage, the power output. Basically, it's telling you how much you have left before you're running out. A couple little connections that need to be made on this. I need to find a mounting spot for that, and I need to find a display spot for this. I've got some places in mind for those, so it's just a matter of getting them in there. So there's a couple of connections that need to be made to your battery shunt in order for your battery monitor to work. You've got your negative post on your battery, has to come straight from there to the shunt. Nothing else connects to the negative post on your battery. Everything else that would normally connect to your negative on the battery goes off the other end of the shunt and off to its various places. From there, you've got another connection which connects straight to your battery monitor, and then also another little connection which connects to your positive post on your battery. So I'm gonna get that mounted up in there somewhere, and my battery monitor I'm gonna get mounted towards the back of the car. Ideally, you want to have this as close as possible to the battery. So you want to extend or reduce any wiring that needs to go one way or the other, but everything that Hardkorr gives is adequate length, and you can cut it down if necessary. The other thing I'm doing, because the DCDC battery comes with all these neat Anderson plugs, makes it easier to disconnect and reconnect whenever you want. I'm actually going to make a Anderson plug connection to go straight to the battery from that. Been spending some time getting everything fully wired up in the setup, and we're just about complete here. Battery is in. I've got a new battery mount in there holding the battery in place. The shunt's all connected to the battery charger. My solar's connected to that, and also the battery charger is connected to the crank battery. So everything's in there now. There's two major components I still need to do on this install. One of them is the battery monitor, which I need to find a place for at the back there. I'm going to get that in after this. Next, I need to install the inverter, 1000-watt inverter, which will be absolutely epic for some minor appliances, and I'm excited to get this in. So we've got a nice little spot up here that we're going to mount that in and get all the wiring associated with it. Now, you might have already noticed this little U-Butte addition to my setup here. Thanks to Kaon, who's provided this as an absolutely epic solution for me to be able to mount this inverter. So obviously I want this to be in a nice, easy to reach space, but I want it to be out of the way. I don't want it to be on the base here, sitting in spots that I can store things. I'm looking forward to mounting this exactly up here, and then I'm going to channel through the wiring from here down and feed it into the battery tray where it needs to go. So thank you very much, Kaon, for creating this little incredible bit. They make some absolutely epic products. You would have seen a video earlier from me on the rear roof shelf that they sell. They make these shelves to fit specifically into your car. This one's built for a GQ, and then the dividers are generic and you just pick based on your height. So I'm really stoked to have it in there. All right, let's get this in. inverter setup is fully installed and I'm pretty happy with how it looks in the end. I'm not a wiring artist. The inside of here could look a lot better. I think I've made it about as neat as I can possibly get, but I'm pretty happy overall with how it's sitting. Something I just wanted to add in here, in addition to the 150 amp ANS fuse there, I've added one of these terminal fuse blocks. So I've got a dual one here. One is for the inverter and that's got 150 amp fuse on it. And then I've got a 60 amp one that's running off to everything else, DCDC charger, accessories and all that sort of stuff. So that's just an extra little redundancy. Don't necessarily need both, especially with this one here. But originally I was going to just run the ANS fuse, but wanted to just be extra cautious and make sure nothing was going to short out there. So that's in there as well. Something I want to quickly point out here too is I love the fact that the Hardkorr DC-DC charger comes with an Anderson plug connected for its solar point. I've got the perfect amount of solar going into this thing with the solar panel I have on the roof, which is also from Hardkorr. It's been a great item. I've got no need for any additional solar in there, but the fact that it's a plug-in Anderson connection, you can easily get a fold-out solar panel and plug it in on the side if you don't have one of these. Hardkorr also sells one of them, but I think it's just an awesome little thing to point out that it's an option there for you. Going to spend a little bit of time putting the interior back in that I had to remove to do the entire install here. And then the very last thing that I need to do is mount the battery monitor. And then we're done. Got the setup. I'm really stoked with the addition of this inverter. Hardkorr sells 2000 watt, 3000 watt inverters, which are great if you've got much bigger appliances. 1000 watt covers a couple of different things. I'm actually taking full advantage of having this installed at the moment by charging some batteries after doing some mowing. Pretty stoked about that. Free power, why not? And I'm pretty excited to see what else I can use it for while I'm out camping as well. Oh, I'm sick of getting out of this car.
I said forget about it, cuz.
Here's the plan for installing the battery monitor from Hardkorr into here. I've got two little ports up here that don't need to be used, so I've moved them out. And I reckon that's the perfect little space for that right there. Hardkorr gives you this awesome little mounting indicator card. Shows me exactly where the face of this is gonna mount, as well as the drill holes that you need to put in there. The other thing that's gonna make this a lot easier is this faceplate unbolts. So I'm gonna take that out and then I'm gonna cut the space out that I need for this. It's gonna make it a lot easier rather than trying to do it in this tight little corner. All right, with the battery monitor installed, that is the new 12 volt setup in my Patrol fully done. This kind of install is something that I normally would not be confident in doing myself, but the components from Hardkorr and their instructions that they provide with this make it really easy, really simple. You can purchase everything from them that'll install it in one go. There may be a couple of little extra things that you might need to add depending on your setup, but for the most part, you're all set. So the new setup is now running a 100 amp hour lithium battery from Hardkorr, their 40 amp DC-DC charger. It's connected to my current Hardkorr solar panel. And also the biggest addition to this setup is the 1000 watt inverter, which I'm really stoked to have that as an option for camping. A big thing is going to be charging 18 volt batteries for blowers, drills, anything that I might be taking camping. They're usually aerobic tools for anyone that really wants to get frustrated by that. And being an inverter as well, it just opens up the options for charging things like phones. I've got drones, cameras that I take camping all the time. So this has absolutely increased the quality of my setup a huge amount. I am itching to get for another camp trip soon. It's been a little while now. My last camp trip was my sundown trip that you may have seen. If not, go watch it up here. But I'm frothing for this to be powering my camp trip, allow me to run lights at camp and power the big Dometic fridge as well. If you found this video helpful, give it a like. If you've watched a bunch of my other videos and you haven't yet, give it a subscribe. Really appreciate that. If you've got any comments you want to add, go nuts. If you've got any questions about any of the Hardkorr gear, chuck a comment down. Thanks for watching this one. I hope it was helpful. Go get some Hardkorr gear. Cheers.